Kia ora, good afternoon. Welcome to the Aon Under-17s National Basketball Championships here from Wellington. My name is Caslo Evans. I'm joined by New Zealand Under-16s assistant coach and Hawke's Bay Hawks NBL assistant coach Morgan Maskell. Welcome, Morgan.
Thanks, Caslo. Great to be here today in this great final between Waikato and Taranaki. Caslo, your thoughts on how the game is going to go?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think Taranaki obviously coming through the semi-final strong yesterday against North Harbour, have a lot of good representative players, big, long. I think Taranaki coming into this final are favourites. Taranaki coming into this as favourites. So just a correction, I'll make a correction. Morgan is the head coach of New Zealand 15, so congratulations, Morgan, on being a successful head coach. It's good for us to get some young blood in there, so congratulations, mate. Looking forward to that time over in Papua New Guinea.
Cheers, mate. Should be good. Yeah, we've been here this week, all looking at at this tournament, the bottom age players. Checking them out, seeing how they're going to go, and as we see down in the stadium now, we'll be upstanding for the national anthem of New Zealand.
So as the teams get ready to warm up here for the next 3.5 minutes, both teams coming into this winning semi-finals. Waikato winning their semi-final last evening against Manawatu. Strong comeback after being down early. They were able to regroup with some of the key players from Manawatu in foul trouble and come away with the win. Some key performances there from Koe Walker Eketone and also Tyler Mitchell, who was huge for them down the stretch there. Taranaki, conversely, they were pretty strong against Harbour. Paris Mason, one of the obviously outstanding performers of the game, got into foul trouble early, which allowed Harbour to get back in the game, but they really consolidated and took control of the game towards the second half. So we've had two good games. The Waikato team, unfortunately, are suffering a couple of key injuries to some key players. Dominic Stevens is out. Keilani Leith is out, Viani Hiddick is out, and also Leila Hemi is out. So they have four of the potentials of their starting five not playing at this Under-7 tournaments, but they've done a good job to get here and have done well in pool play to successfully come through. Taranaki, on the other hand, came through top of their pool, beating the Waikato team earlier in the tournament by over 25-30 points, I think, with the final score. And so this is either a redemption game or hopefully not a repeat of the last game for Waikato, trying to learn of what they're doing. And I'm sure Coach Anthony Corbin has done some things to improve their performance going forward and put some strategies in place, Morgan, to help them combat some of the weapons that Taranaki have.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be really interesting to see what Coach Corbin has in place as we see the Waikato team list on the screen.
The Waikato team, we have Ahi Williams, Ava Waratini, Bree Schuler, Yan P. Han, JC Lee, Waihi, Leila Ta'ala, Hemi Ta'ala, Wakoi Walker Ekatone, Reese Anderson, Tida Walker, Tyler Mitchell, and Viana Hitik. Assistant coach Lissa Hirawani and head coach Anthony Corbin with Luana Natai as their manager.
Certainly a very talented team as we look to the other side of the equation now. Taranaki stacked with New Zealand representatives as they have barnstormed their way through this tournament. You see Alex Blyde, their captain, and New Zealand under-16 captain from last year, Caitlin O'Connell, Al Williams, Emily Poole, Gemma Walsh, last year under-15 girls tournament team, Hayley Quinnell, Jana Dermaya, Liana Smith, Paris Mason, who has been absolutely instrumental for them this tournament so far, a plus 19 in the semi-finals so far. The big Raquel Sampson in the middle, Tian Owen, their head coach, Shay Hyder, and assistant coaches Aaron Langdon and Trent Adam. They will be looking to go better than their third place that they have had previously. That was something that was said in the huddle by the girls themselves as they went to overtime with Harbour, as you've mentioned earlier, Caslow. What a great game. But what do you think Coach Corbin has in store for the Taranaki girls to slow them down?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we're having a conversation off camera. It's probably, it needs to mess it up a little bit or make it a bit messy for Taranaki, try and negate some of their their weapons that they have there, potentially putting Waihi, who's their best defender, on the floor, putting her on Mason, and Walker Ekatone on Caitlin to try and negate some of their dribble penetration. But he's been around the traps. He's won probably more women's titles than anyone in the country, so he knows a few things about a few things. So hopefully he's drawn up something here which will make this game both competitive and potentially key for Waikato to come out with a win.
I'm really interested to see Caslow if he's going to come out in any zone defenses, any 1-3-1s, 3-2s, 2-3s, box and one. If he's going to mix it up, if he's going to stay with defense, it'll be really interesting to see what he can do to slow down the likes of Caitlin O'Connell and Paris Mason, two New Zealand under-16 representatives from last year who have been absolutely fantastic this tournament so far.
Yeah, and Waikato have had to heavily rely on their under-15 MVP from last year's national tournament, Jay-Z Lee Waihi, who's obviously a bottom age NZ representative here playing for Waikato, and I think I spoke to Corbin earlier about this game, and I said to him, what are you looking at doing? Last night they did a triangle and two to try and change things up. Hopefully he has another interesting thing on par for this game. So be interesting to see what he comes out with and what all turns out as we go along in the next 40 minutes of basketball. As
we see the starters out on the floor for Waikato, Reese Anderson starting, Bree Schuler, Ahi Williams, Jay-Z Lee Waihi, and the captain, number 8, Quay Walker Ekatone.
Yep, and Caitlin O'Connell, Emily Poole, Alex Blyde, and Raquel Sampson, and Paris Mason. And we're about to head to tip-off here in this Aon Under-17 National Finals and the Under-17s. Tip-off there, Paris Mason gets a tip over to Raquel, and Raquel unfortunately couldn't handle it, and it goes out of bounds. So Waikato with possession to start this game off here earlier in the first quarter. Less than a second gone, putting extended pressure there on the ball. Taranaki looking to get inside. Waihi with the ball looking to drive. Very strong on the ball dribble. Walker Ekatone as well, another strong dribbler. Waihi getting across there, passing it over to Shula. Shula looking, can't let that go. Paris Mason's an athlete out on the long, and she makes that, she made it look difficult.
So Paris Mason just looks like a gazelle out on the fast break, and this is something she excelled at last year in Perth, playing for the New Zealand under-16 teams. Tipping balls, getting deflections, no matter what it was, she out in transition is extremely dangerous, and Waikato will have to stop that.
They will. Strong move by Waihi to the hole. Raquel Sampson does a nice defensive play there, gets a block. Waihi open at the top for three, misses. Bree Schuler. Oh, unfortunate offensive rebound there. There's 2 offensive rebounds in a row, uncharacteristic for Taranaki. They're going to need to box out if they're going to negate some of Waikato's offense.
Yeah, that's right. We saw Taranaki set up in their 1-3-1 zone that they've been playing all tournament long, and it's been really hard for teams to crack. Harbour had to rely on some individual brilliance from Jessica Moores and Emmy Shearer, Jazz Kalahifulu and Sissy Kalahifulu, and unfortunately could not break through in overtime. We see them set up their zone again, 2-3 looking this time.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yesterday when we were commentating the game, they seemed to change back and forth from a 1-3-1 to a 2-3, and sometimes they even go to a matchup after the first pass. So they seem to have some good IQ as a team to be able to change their defenses up at the drop of a hat.
An excellent free double there from Alex Blyde and Emily Poole. Knowing that she can't get back over halfway, they go and double team her in a trapping zone.
Shot there by Walker Ekitone, and that is blocked. I'm not sure what the referees were looking at, but I'm sure it was blocked and went out of bounds. I don't think Walker Ekitone is that bad of a shooter.
That's something that Paris Mason has in her game yesterday. We saw her block a three-point shot on the perimeter again yesterday, and she is just an athlete the likes of which we don't see very often in New Zealand women's basketball. Yes,
exactly, and she's obviously a multi-sport player, both touch and netball, so hopefully we do a good job. Good job as a basketball community, making her stay with the basketball.
Yeah, that's right. We see Waikato setting up in a line on their baseline play. Players are splitting off, and they're looking for Tyler Mitchell to slip into a little gap. Unfortunately, that time, the gap does not form, and she kicks it out for three, and it is missed.
So Kaylin O'Connell with the ball, Quay Walker Ekitone up on her, and Tyler Mitchell, who was one of the shining lights for the Waikato game against Manawatu yesterday, is doing a good job defensively. And both teams starting off a bit scratchy here and working their way into it, generally how finals go. Most teams are struggling to get into it, with Reese Anderson trying to get around O'Connell and Emily Paul, and turns the ball over to Paris Mason with a nice drive to the middle. Good defense there by Tyler Mitchell. Just a bit of background on Tyler Mitchell. She is the granddaughter of the great Colin Meads. So a bit of pedigree there on the court. Looking inside, great defense there by Ahi Williams.
You see Caitlin O'Connell being aggressive early. It's the third time she's gone to a spin move, trying to drive. And that'll be something we look for, Caitlin O'Connell. Can she finish some of these opportunities she's creating for herself, or can she start facilitating for others as the point guard?
So obviously Anthony Corbin has told his players, and Ahi Williams, who's starting to front the post, to front Sampson down there, and this extended pressure allows for those mid-range jump shots, and Reese Anderson knocks it down for Waikato's first points of the game as Taranaki come out in an extended 2-3 zone with Emily Poole here with the ball, giving it off, and Caitlin O'Connell up top with JC Lee Waihi on her, giving her all kinds of trouble with Tiana Owen setting a high on-ball screen, coming back to that reverse side. Walker Ekitone looking inside for Owen. Owen again late in the shot clock, a good pressure defense, great box out. Well, Waikato seem to have switched on defensively here, Morgan, to make it difficult for these Taranaki team to get baskets up.
Yeah, we saw Taranaki set a wing on-ball screen, and Ahi Williams did a great job in a mush. So she just dropped back as she was defending the screener and allowed the Waikato guard to chase over the screen and get back in front. As soon as that guard was back in front, Ahi Williams did a great job recovering to her own man.
She did a good job as Quay Walker goes to Walker Ekitone gets a basket as the referee calls a foul on. I'm assuming she's called it on Ahi Williams there. I can't see who they've called that on, but Paris Mason's so deadly in the open court. She's very tough and difficult to guard, and the Waikato got back and protected their fort, although unfortunately gave away a foul.
So how about Coach Shea Haira from Taranaki here, able to put on New Zealand under-16 greater squad members on as her first substitutions, as we see the entrance of number 9 Gemma Walsh, guard, three-point shooter, lefty, bottom age, and number 20 centre Raquel Sampson. They're both at Sacred Heart, New Plymouth.
It has generally been a good a breeding ground for good young women players here in New Zealand, so they've done a great job of continuing to develop them. Ahi Williams with the ball here, looking to pass the ball. Tyler Mitchell again with her unassuming style. Unfortunately, falls up a bit short on that little mid-range runner, and Paris Mason again gets out in the open court with Gemma Walsh
We see a great job by Raquel Sampson.
Yeah.
Her outlet pass after the defensive rebound going
Gemma
up the
Walsh
court,
for 3.
allowing Taranaki to start their fast break. And an excellent eyes-up pass to Paris
Yeah.
Mason, who poured it in before Raquel Sampson goes to work too
Yeah.
big. She'll head to the free throw line for her efforts.
And that fouls on number 8, I think it is. Quay Walker Ekatune. So starting off early, they're gonna. I mean, they've done a good job defensively on the guards early, Waikato, but they need to ensure that they're getting some box out as Raquel Sampson makes her first free throw down low. So 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock gone, and the score is. The score here is 5-4 to Taranaki as they extend out on Tyler Mitchell. Yeah. Sorry, we're just having some technical difficulties getting the clock sorted. Tyler Mitchell goes to her left hand, and she does a great job of finding seams that I don't think are there.
Yeah, and she was lucky there that the Taranaki players fouled her, because she drove straight into 3 players there.
Yep.
But she went nice and hard and aggressive, and she'll be rewarded by the referee for free throws.
And she makes the first one. So again, another Tyler Mitchell, another regional player from the King Country. So someone who isn't a part of the big metropolis areas. Well, I wouldn't say big, but some of the larger metropolis areas out of that. So she travels quite a ways to come to training and has to engage. So there is opportunities for those who live regionally to play in this great game of basketball. Extended. It's a suspect pass there by Paris Mason to try and find the cutting Gemma Walsh on the baseline.
Waikato still in their man-to-man.
Yep.
As we see Amoeba 2-3 zone from Taranaki that coach Shea Hedder and the Taranaki region are known so well for. So Paris Mason doing a great job disrupting passes. An uncontested 3 for Tyler Mitchell. And Paris Mason holds on a defensive rebound.
Probably from Waikato offensively, not the person you want to be taking the outside shot. Mitchell's very effective down low interior-wise, and Raquel Sampson's so big and so strong.
From O'Connell.
Passes inside and gets it out at 2 points there against Ahi Williams. Ahi's got to decide whether she's going to front or side or play behind Sampson to ensure that she makes good decisions. Reese can make that shot, and she does. Reese Anderson hits a 3 from the corner as the 1-2-3 or 1-3-1 Amoeba type off zone gets caught out there going on the baseline. Great drive there by O'Connell. Took some contact but gets out, and while he's in the open court, Mitchell with her, Quay with her, she pulls up for a free throw jumper, just short. You'd like to see why he attacked the hoop there, even against the bigger, taller guys. Gemma Walsh gets back and hustles. They turn the ball over a bit, Taranaki, but I don't mind that because they're trying to lift the intensity and the pace.
Yeah, another errant pass, but I mean, a great shot, and Coach Shea Hedder from Taranaki will ask for a timeout as Waikato take the ascendancy after 6 minutes of action here, 11-8. Certainly not what we expected to come out at the start.
No, but like we said, Coach Corbin's been around a while, and if Waikato shoot well, and if they play some good, strong defense against the Taranaki guards, there is an opportunity there. As we know, though, basketball's a 40-minute game. We've only gone through the first 6, so if they can keep it up for the next 34, then potentially we could see an exciting finish.
Now, it's interesting to see Taranaki sit in their zone for this game as well. I mean, they are in their zone giving up open shots to a Waikato team whose really only chances to hit those sorts of shots, get out and run, because talent for talent, player for player, Taranaki are more talented. You would almost think the man-to-man defense and just clamping them up, not allowing them to have shots, would be beneficial for Taranaki here.
Yeah, and it's probably something I've been a little bit critical of in my time here watching the Under-17 tournament. This obviously the first age group as a country that you can play zone defense at a national championships, and I think a lot of teams have resorted back to that zone defense, and I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but I think especially from a player development perspective, I'm not sure what you think, Morgan, it's important for us to teach both skills and to teach both defenses equally.
I think that's exactly right, and what we're seeing is when we're trying to select for higher levels, we need players who can contain and keep the ball in front of them.
Yep.
We absolutely just cannot have players where the other team is going to go at them till we sub them, because they just cannot contain the ball.
Agree.
At this tournament, we are seeing some exciting games, some great shooting, some great offense, but not a lot of containment, and so that would be really, really great to start seeing that as we see Gemma Walsh and Caitlin O'Connell at the top of their zone picking it up.
Reese Anderson with another three. That's back-to-back threes for Reese Anderson, and she puts Waikato up by 6 points here early in the first quarter. And like you said earlier, if they're going to stay in that zone, they've got to stop the shooters.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they tried to get a late hand out to that, but Reese Anderson, she can shoot. She was left open, and so far she's hitting it. Paris Mason with an excellent pass. Gemma Walsh with great spacing in that corner. That's a shot they're going to want to keep taking all night long as we see Waikato struggle to keep Taranaki off the O boards, and that'll be something that something else we'll have to keep an eye on this game.
Yeah, so it's interesting that Gemma Walsh, I mean, last night in the semi-final, she got a lot of opportunities to shoot the ball, and she didn't shoot necessarily well, particularly well last night. So this afternoon, hopefully that she can get herself in a position. Nice block there by Raquel Sampson. That was a really nice job. And Tyler Mitchell gets it back.
Sampson says no.
Sampson gets another block. Really good effort again. A leak out pass to O'Connell. O'Connell passes it inside to Mason. Good D there from Mahi Williams and Quay Walker-Ekit on their way. They hustle back and protect their hoop. Doing a good job here. JC Lee Waihi putting a lot of pressure on O'Connell as they switch that dribble handoff, putting pressure on Mason. Mason with the athletic ability, able to get to the hole, gets her own rebound, and referee calls travel. I think that's a fair call. She did a good job to get to the hoop and get her offensive rebound, but was unable to capitalize on her position on the court.
I mean, I think we've seen the Taranaki team become very stagnant. We've seen O'Connell force the issue multiple times. Mason just forcing terrible shots twice on that possession. They really just need to move the ball when they're being contained and trust their talent.
It's an extended two. I think her foot was on the line. And like you say, Morgan, if Taranaki are going to sit back in their zone, they've got to live with what they give Waikato. And if Waikato are going to continue to knock down those shots, it's going to be difficult for Taranaki to stay in this game.
I think what we need to see, I mean, Taranaki have their base defense, their zone, and they really should match up man-to-man now. And Coach Shea is yelling at them to match up man-to-man, and they're struggling to match up.
Waihi open again, short on that three-pointer as Raquel Sampson tried to get out to her player as they changed up the defense. And that's why it's important. Nice, lovely pass. Sampson nearly needs to push through that contact. It's a lovely pass from Mason, and Sampson had primary position down low. She really needs to make that. And with her experience, I would expect that to be a bit better finish from her.
They don't get out to the shooter once again.
Reese Anderson misses. So I think they're trying to change it. Coach Shea's trying to change up the defense there, Morgan, but there's either lack of communication from both the players on the court or the coach to team.
You see O'Connell coming off potentially stagger screens, but they don't really set any screens, and then Paul pulls up from the elbow.
Yeah, it's a nice job there from the Taranaki team, having the ability to use that high post action. Looking for Reese Anderson inside. Waihi wide open, she can shoot that. She was already made one, missed the second.
As we see, Taranaki, we've talked about them giving up a lot of threes. Waikato now, that was their 9th three they've attempted this game so far, and perhaps the closest of this game and the way the game goes will be dictated by how well Waikato can shoot the three.
Look at Walker-Ekit get out on the open floor. Nice pass to Taylor Mitchell. Tyler Mitchell unfortunately goes to the left hand, misses it, gets it out to Gemma Walsh. Gemma Walsh goes. Good hustle back by Reese Anderson, enforcing a missed layup there for a Walsh. Boy, the efforts there from Waikato, and Taranaki just failing just at the first quarter, end of the first quarter, to capitalise on some of the opportunities that they've been presented with.
Yeah, I mean, that's true of both teams so far. I mean, Waikato missed a fast break layup down that end. D-Trans leaving a lot to be desired from both teams at the moment, but it is Waikato after one quarter, a very low-scoring quarter, 16-12, they're in the ascendancy.
Yeah, at the moment, I think, like you say, finals sometimes take a bit of effort to take time to work into it, and as long as you don't get down by too much, you can generally work your way back into it. And hopefully now Coach Shea can talk to her ladies, her troops, and get them just a bit more unified and start to use some of their tools and some of their guns that they do have to their advantage, so that they can start to pull back on what they're looking in front of them.
It'll be interesting to see. We see the camera on Coach Shea Hitter now in the quarter break for Taranaki. Clearly not happy with her team giving them directions, and they've played this team before. They've blown them out before. They're clearly the most talented team here. She'll be imploring them to do what they can do best, and I think part of that is they need to move away from their individualistic style of play they've had this quarter and start playing as a team again, like they know they can.
Yeah, but I agree with you there, Morgan. Paris Mason not shooting particularly well. She's 1 for 5 for that quarter. Raquel Sampson's probably their best offensive weapon at the moment against a shorter, smaller Waikato lineup. So I think, I tend to agree with you, potentially looking at their strengths and exposing some of Waikato's weaknesses. And at the moment, Waikato exposing some of the Taranaki weaknesses is just with their rotations on their defensive possessions, where some of their, especially along the baseline, some of them are getting wide open for shots. A couple of the contested shots that they've made, which Waikato have made, have been quite contested and quite big, but overall Taranaki are shooting 22% from the field, whereas in Waikato are just shooting a smidgen better at 30%.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, some keys for Waikato moving forward, their rebounding and their post defense. You mentioned Sampson taking supremacy in the post, and how well can they shoot, given that Taranaki's going to continue to give up open threes to these small Waikato guards that can shoot the ball.
Yeah. Both teams can relatively shoot quite well, I think. Gemma Walsh, although hasn't shot particularly well in the last couple of games, she can knock those down if she's left open for too many times, and Caitlin O'Connell can shoot as well. Hasn't had the opportunities as of yet to do that, and Waikato choose to switch and double switch back to the one ball, and Tiana Owen makes that nice little floating layup, which was a good move there by Tiana Owen over the top of Bree Schuller there to make the bucket and cut this lead back to 2 points.
We see Raquel Sampson's been taken out of the game by Taranaki as probably their only offensive weapon in the first half.
Yeah.
So to be curious to see what they go to. Hopefully Paris Mason getting out and running, moving the ball around and using their supreme talent to take the opportunities provided to them.
Yeah, I think Tiana Owen too is a good player. I mean, a nice shot there by Paris Mason as she pushes through some pretty heavy contact there. I think yesterday in the semi-final, I liked Tiana Owen. I think she produced some good things. She did some good off-ball stuff which allowed Taranaki to get into position, as Tyler Mitchell again tries to get those basket shots up, and out goes O'Connell in transition with a nice, she went to, and what do they call here?
So
unsure what they call
they've
here.
called an and one as foul on Waikato player number
Emily
8.
I feel a bit unfortunate for Reese Anderson there. The ball got taken up from on top of her, so it's pretty hard to call a foul, but the referee calls it, and Emily Paul goes to the line to shoot two. And box out there by Waihi, and box out there from Waihi, and she brings the ball up against Gemma Walsh, both bottom age New Zealand players, and she gets to the hole with a nice floater, just drops short there, and great rebound there from Mason again, compounding things. Waihi, she got into foul trouble yesterday, fouled off early in the third quarter, so she needs to keep her hands out if she wants to stay in this game to assist her Waikato team. But that was a nice move from, it's very tough when you've got such long athletic players as Taranaki do to get over the top of them.
So we see now O'Connell bringing the ball up. She had another miss at the bottom of the backboard last possession. She's a player that they really want to get going. As she takes a little step back three, she's being very aggressive, and she's now 0 of 8 shooting for the game, and she's a critical player for her. There's no doubt of her talent. Caitlin O'Connell is a lovely person and a great player as well, and she needs to get herself going and perhaps get some layups, get some free throws under her belt rather than forcing up tough shots as Waikato now bring the ball up the floor. It's
an interesting balance though, Morgan. You really want players, if they're shooters, to keep shooting. I never anyway to discourage people from shooting, but pick your moments, pick your times, and I always try and tell all of our shooters to try and get a layup first before you start throwing threes out there. But
it's about taking good shots rather than step backs and
contested
spinning contested finishes. So everyone should keep shooting, but good shots.
I agree. agree. Paris Mason brings it up to Paul. Paul rotates the ball. She
drives into two.
Into two people and no call there. Well, that example there, I think Jim Walsh was open for a shot, but she didn't take it because she hasn't been making them.
Walsh turns down her open three, and Owen takes a contested three. So
three,
Taranaki turning down great shots for good shots.
Yeah, and Bree Schuller gets out into open floor, fading away to her left when she should have really made that layup. That's unacceptable at this level of play, for especially in a national final, missing an open layup, even though there was some defense there. And Mason, one of the things, bugbears I have at this age group, and I don't know about you, Morgan, is just some of the use of ball screens for these. Both of them, either they don't use it long enough, or they don't take that extra dribble after they've used the ball screen, or they stop right behind it. It's very frustrating. I mean, there's a ball screen there for a reason. You should use it.
Yeah, players need to learn to use change of speed, timing, head fakes, ball fakes, and all of that comes with time as well. But we're probably not seeing super effective here. As we see now, Taranaki, they've gone on a 6-0 run to start this quarter, and we see the re-entrance of number 20, Taranaki centre, Raquel Sampson now.
As Mitchell, as Bree Schuller gets an offensive rebound, and Emily Paul gets defense on her. Quay Walker Ekatone looking for a seam. Reese Anderson with a nut fake and jump shot, and she makes it. She's a very good shooter, Reese Anderson, as she's shown early, and they're really going to have to do a job on her to ensure that they're not allowing her to do that. Yeah, I get it. It's a tough call there for Bree Schuller. I thought it was some good D, but and Mason's, she's fast. She's tough to stay in front, but we want to see our players on the court. And to be fair, the referees have caught it pretty clean from thus far, so they've done a good job.
As we see Gemma Walsh sit down on the bench, clearly frustrated with herself, forcing Coach Shea to have a word, and Paris slams into defense. And a very, very good charge call by the referee there. Paris Mason just forcing the issue, slamming into multiple defenders.
Yeah, she probably overestimated her speed. She can get anywhere she wants on the court, but these Waikato girls are pretty tough-nosed girls, and they want to get into the defensive areas. I thought the gap was there actually, but that gap closed really quickly.
It was great defense by Waikato as Reese Anderson's open for three, turns it down for that mid-range bank. And
I think she meant that. Pretty sure I think she meant that. But she can shoot, like I said to you earlier. Reese Anderson is a very good shooter. She's consistent. She's short, and at the moment she is, she's turning the ball over Paris Mason, and she's 5 for 7 at the moment with our leading scorer of 12 points.
She scored 12 of their 20.
Yeah, 12 of their 20. Quay Walker Ekatone drive, little floater there, goes to the basket and makes it.
So Quay Walker Ekatone with the up fake drive left,
and
a little righty finish, showing her skill, forcing Coach Shea Hauda to call a timeout for Taranaki. Scored 22-18, Waikato up after 14 minutes of action.
Taranaki went on a run there, which is really strong. They played to their strengths. They got it inside, and Paris Mason made some good moves, and O'Connell is obviously facilitating, but Waikato were able to kind of go back and forth, which is good. We were wanting a good back and forth final, and we're seeing it today.
Yeah, that's certainly right, and I think some of the keys to the game still remain true. Waikato, how well can they shoot, given that Taranaki are consistently providing them with wide open shots? And what Reese Anderson's saying, I can shoot as well as you like. Quay Walker Ekatone saying, I can shoot as well as you like. Taranaki have not gone back to Sampson in the post since she's returned to the game, really where they started to gain some ascendancy in the game. And we're still seeing some 1-on-2 or 1-on-3 drives from Taranaki, and not really being effective in their ball screen offense yet. It would be good to see some varied sets from Taranaki to reflect that, perhaps, given that their ball screen set's not providing them with the shots they'd like so far. Coach Anthony Corbin and the Waikato girls doing a great job.
They are. They're doing a great job, and the Waikato team are really shooting really well. They've shot well all tournament, to be fair, and they've had to keep themselves in this tournament. So Kaylin O'Connell's not having a very good shooting game at the moment. She's 0 for 8 at the moment, and she's one of their key performers. So putting all on Raquel Sampson, which is a great dive to the middle, and she gets that nice layup. It's a good feed there inside, and Raquel Sampson's so strong, so good inside. They need to start looking down there more if they want to get a bit more purchase out of their half-court offense.
That's right. I mean, they showed how easy it was just then. And Taranaki are doing a great job with post-entry passes this game as well.
Yeah. As Caitlin O'Connell picks up the foul, that's her second foul here in the second quarter.
And we see Gemma Walsh, number 9, re-entering the game for Caitlin O'Connell.
Which is a good move. You want some of your starting players.
Walker Ekatone left open for 3, turns it down. She moves it. Mitchell open for 3, turns it down. Great little screen. Tough mid-range shot from Mitchell. Perhaps not the best shot they want to take.
No, but I mean, she yesterday she top scored with almost 20 points, Mitchell, and so she does a good job. A nice defense there by Reese Anderson going over the top of the screen. Another good defense there by Walker Ekatone and Ahi Williams and Raquel Welsh battling down inside and done a good job and getting out on the floor with Bree Schuller supporting Paris Mason. Doesn't want to get a foul caught on her, and that's a foul on Tyler Mitchell coming through. Good defense there by Paris. I thought she did a good job. Walker Ekatone trying to get into transition, and Paris Mason held off a little bit, and allowed her to make a decision, and it wasn't a good decision. She got the rebound.
And contesting a shot without fouling is a very important underpinning defensive skill that we need players to have at the higher level, as Walker Ekatone is blown by Walsh. Great cut from Paul, great find by Walsh. She blows the layup, unfortunately, but better offensive sequence from Taranaki.
Better, yes, I agree. Better offensive sequence, more team-oriented, getting everyone involved. I still think that Raquel Sampson needs to get a touch on the ball every half, every set. She puts so much pressure on the defense.
Mitchell open for 3, and that's a much better shot than her mid-range shot from before. That's a great shot for Waikato. They'll be looking to get out of their offense. Walsh open up the floor.
Wow.
Turns the fast break down.
Yeah, well, I think that that's nerves. Maybe nerves. She's open now in the corner, and she's going to put herself into a position to make a pretty tough shot there.
She had a much easier shot available to her earlier in the shot clock, and they had much more time left on the shot clock to get a better shot than the one they took as a bad shot.
Yeah, Bree Schuller now, who's come a long way again, another regional player from the Thames Valley, and has the ability now to play for Waikato after her moving her allegiances. But nice up and under move there by Bree Schuller to Sampson, who just left it short, and Sampson did a great job of recovering and getting that defensive rebound.
Got numbers. Mason picked her dribble up.
Yeah, she made
great high-low from Paul and Sampson. That's nice great basketball.
That is good. That is good, and that is where there is an opportunity, and that's where there needs to be communication between someone who's, if you're fronting the post, there needs to be someone behind you who can recover. And Ahi Williams, unfortunately, there was no help side, even though she was doing a good job of fronting. But great pass from Emily Paul to find the cutting Raquel Sampson and making a bucket.
That's right, and Coach Anthony Corbin for Waikato has called a timeout, and so it'll be interesting to see what he's seeing out there. I mean, neither team shooting it very well this game.
No.
Neither team. I mean, Waikato has made jump shots, but neither team really shooting it well. Waikato shooting 26%, 20% from 3, and Taranaki shooting 30% and over 4 from 3. And that is a big reason why we're looking at a 22-all game with 3.5 minutes left.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in the commentary, in order for Waikato to stay relevant in this game, they need to make it a bit messy, a bit dirty, and I think they're doing that really well. I think they're forcing Taranaki into some difficult positions. Some of the smaller girls down low trying to defend a stronger Raquel Sampson, and they're doing some good jobs putting her under pressure, and she's made a couple of really nice moves and nice shots, and I think, like I said earlier, she needs to touch the ball as frequent as possible down in that half-court offensive set for Taranaki, with Caitlin O'Connell struggling at the moment, and then also Gemma Walsh and, to an extent, Paris Mason not really shooting to the best of their abilities at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, and it'll be really interesting to see what Coach Corbin has seen causing him to call that timeout. They weren't exactly under pressure or in trouble, as we see Taranaki
back to a
man-to-man come out. I really like that. They were in a zone, and Corbin...
I think
Coach
they're still
Corbin,
in a zone, because Paris Mason is in no man's land in the middle there.
Oh no, what's happened is some of their players thought they were man, some thought they were zone. They all confused, and you can see the coach's frustration on the sideline at that confusion.
Good full court defense there by Waihi on O'Connell. She's giving O'Connell a lot of pressure there. She, getting that ball up the court, which does put pressure on your offense. Again, looking really, I wouldn't say fragmented, as Gemma Walsh wide open, looks to pass inside. I would say that.
A hooking foul.
Oh my
gosh.
That's rough, but Gemma Walsh needs to take her open
Well,
threes.
that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
She was wide open. I don't know why she didn't shoot it.
She's showing no confidence in her three-point shot.
She's 0 for 2. She might not have made a bucket all game, but something that as a coach, if you're wide open, you take the shot. You got to make those.
Well, in the semi-final, she shot, I believe off the top of my head, it is not in front of me, but 1 of 5 from 3.
Yep.
But that is no reason for her to stop shooting wide open threes. It's a great shot to take. It's produced out of the offense.
Yep.
You're a good shooter. You're a talented player. Shoot the ball.
Yep.
And so Gemma Walsh, looking for her to get going open threes. Is Caitlin O'Connell still on 0 right now?
Yep.
And these are some of their best guards. They're very talented players. And we're looking to see them get going. So Waikato set up in their line, looking for a play to slip, and O'Connell, unfortunately, doesn't quite get the ball in. That'll be a shooting foul. Walker Katone O'Connell on her 3rd foul, and that is crucial for Taranaki's hopes. O'Connell just needs to be a little smarter there. You're on 2 fouls. You cannot go for that 50-50 ball.
No, exactly, and that's you make the exact right point, Morgan. It's about 100%ers. You need to keep yourself in the game, being aware. We spoke about it yesterday with some players in foul trouble in both teams. You need to ensure that you're mindful of your foul situation, you're mindful of your importance to your team, so that you're staying relevant and you're in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've talked to. I got players on my Hawke's Bay under 15 team. They're great hands, great at stealing it. You can go for those little gambles sometimes, you're not in foul trouble.
Yep.
If you're in foul trouble and we are putting you back out in the game, we are trusting you to play great defense without fouling to keep you in the game.
Agree.
As we see an extended conversation between referee and Coach Shea Hitter, and now we can get back to action as Walker Katone will take her next free throw.
And she misses both. Very critical. She misses the second one. Getting out in open court, and they're sticking with them, Waikato. They're a very fit and fast team, so they're sticking with this fast transition offense team, and Emily Poole shoots it and misses that mid-range. And Paris Mason, man, she's such an athletic person, getting in the teeth of the defense, and Tyler Mitchell again does an amazing job defensively, forcing her into a tough shot and getting the defensive rebound. Waihi over to Mitchell. Mitchell drops the ball into that mid-post. Nice steal there by Alex Blyde. Blyde going down for the open lab. She puts it in.
And Taranaki really need that. And we saw, we can see it from our angle, at least after that last missed layup. Paris let out a not safe for work word. Clearly frustrated with herself. She's trying really hard, going hard, but again, forcing very tough shots.
Another steal by Blyde. She's really putting the defensive intensity here and turning it up here for Taranaki, putting them in position, and Bree Schuller doing a great job defensively here, out extended, and causes a turnover for Paris Mason. Mason getting a bit frustrated here as Waihi pushes the ball, and she pulls up for that jump shot again, getting her offensive rebound, getting it inside to Mitchell. Mitchell going up against Sampson, and Sampson, she's too big and strong to try up and go there, and Waihi getting called for another foul, and that puts her on 3 fouls here.
That's unfortunate for Waikato. She's a key player for them.
Yep.
And again, you're on 2 fouls. Raquel Sampson comes down with the rebound clean, and you do not need to just slap in and hack in there. It's a silly foul from Waihi, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. But I mean, again, it's probably shot selection there. I would probably prefer to see her going to the hole rather than putting up for that mid-range jump shot. Bit more effective, and now Raquel Sampson goes to the line. Makes the first.
Raquel's been the most effective player for Taranaki, and I mean, Alex Blyde's provide great energy. Emily Poole's hit a couple jump shots, but Raquel Sampson's really been a beast for them. We're seeing Masons come out of the game now, clearly frustrated with herself, and that sees the re-entrance of Gemma Walsh. Curious substitution here. We see Tian Owen come in, Raquel Sampson come out, and we're left with a lineup of players that haven't scored a lot yet for Taranaki, and they have been limited in their offense this game.
Yeah, I think so. And we see
another wide open three for
Bree Schuller. Oh, was it? Yeah, it was Bree Schuller there, and they're still staying. What I like about what Waikato are doing is they're putting a lot of defensive pressure, extending it out full court, and causing it somewhat of a turnover for Taranaki. Taranaki now up by 3 as Waikato's shots have dried up. I would say they're not making as many. As great defense there by Tyler Mitchell as Emily Poole tries to drive
the ball to the basket and as we say that now, there's a short substitution potentially just to get some words of advice into Paris Mason, and she's back in the game. So we're here with Taranaki in this Aon National Championship game for the gold medal between Taranaki and Waikato here in this age group. And another foul. No basket there. Foul being called on Reese Anderson, and both teams are in the penalty with 53 seconds remaining in the second quarter of this first half here in this gold medal match.
Alex Blythe's been really great. She's provided that burst of energy for them. As we see, so Paris Mason has come back in the game.
Yep.
And it's almost as if Taranaki are just throwing whatever they can at the wall, whichever lineup they can, hoping something sticks.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're ahead now by 4 points. You know, Waikato's shooting hasn't really improved. They haven't been able to knock down those open shots that they were doing in the first quarter, and so Taranaki have continued to put points on the board after Waikato not really getting those shots that they were getting earlier.
That's a very tough shot from Walker Ekatone. A wonderful drive, but probably needs to pass that out rather than trying to finish over.
Blythe again going to the hole. She's been very aggressive, Blythe, and putting herself in good positions, getting a couple of steals, being aggressive on defense. Now she's forcing Reese Anderson to play some defense and gets an opportunity to put the Taranaki team up by more than 5 going into the half time with 29 seconds to go here in the first half.
Yeah, Blythe's been absolutely fantastic for Taranaki. Absolutely been crucial. We see Raquel Sampson coming back into the game now. Paris Mason sitting on 2 fouls. She'll remain in the game with 29 seconds left. A defensive possession coming up. It'll be crucial for Taranaki that she doesn't
Owen gets a rebound, offensive rebound. Ahi Williams unable to box out. Tiana Owen gets the rebound and gets a put back in with less than 30 seconds to go on the clock. Tyler Mitchell, Waikato should hold out for the last shot. Shot clock is shut off, so they can hold it till the last possession, potentially hold down to 5 seconds before they take a shot. Reese Anderson pulls a wild shot from out in the 3 seconds to go. Tyler Mitchell pulls it up, and they're really struggling now. You know, they made it a competitive match early in the second quarter and the first quarter after making shots, but now a lot of those shots are drying up. Those shots aren't falling down, and Taranaki are capitalising on what they need to do. Going forward, I think Waikato have done a good job of keeping this a bit messy, but for the half, so we'll just go to a short break now, coming up to halftime, and then we'll join us after a short break.
Tukaha.
It means stand strong. To the great challenges we face.
To stand strong with our brothers and sisters.
With our families and our communities.
With our supporters.
With those who lift us up to take on the world.
It's the name of our haka.
Tāringa whakarongo kia moe.
Stand strong.
Stand with us.
Tukaha, New Zealand.
In New Zealand, female basketball is a sport on the rise. The journey for our girls starts from a young age. This is where we ensure our players learn the fundamentals of our great game. As the journey continues, the pathways available become more transparent. The WBC is the pinnacle of our domestic game. Go head to head with your peers and battle it out on the court for the title of national champion.
They're really good. Did you know they do scholarships for basketball?
Stay involved and play for the love of the game with your friends and family, or strive to be the best you can.
Play for the Tall Ferns, our national team. We strive to be the best, and we're proud of what we've achieved. Basketball is an Olympic sport, and we now have over 200,000 female players in New Zealand. But we want more. We are women.
We are basketball.
And it's never too late.
Kia ora and welcome back to the second half of halftime, of the gold medal in this Aon National Under-17s Basketball Championships here in Wellington. And we have Taranaki up 7 points here in the start of the third quarter, and we've got Morgan's going to run through some statistical information for us.
Yeah, I mean, so some key differences, I mean, in this game so far. Taranaki sitting back in their zone, giving up a lot of open shots to Waikato, as we've discussed a lot on this stream so far. Unfortunately, Waikato only 7 points last quarter. They're shooting 2 of 12, 16% from 3. That is a key for them in the second half, their three-point shooting ability. On the other side, Taranaki only taken 4 threes. We've seen them hesitant to shoot, but Blyde and Sampson in particular have been getting to the free throw line a lot. They've shot 11 free throws to Waikato's 4. Whereas Taranaki's able to use their length without fouling most of the time to disrupt Waikato's shots. Taranaki also shooting 73% from the line, 8 of 11. They'll be pretty happy with that. Part of the thing making the game close is that, and limiting Taranaki's shot attempts, is that they are turning the ball over an awful lot. They are already at 12 turnovers in the half. And for Taranaki to come away with the national championship that they are heavily favoured to get in this game, they will need to make sure they take care of the ball. Waikato, while they haven't shot it well, the reason they're still in this game, they only turned it over 4 times.
Yeah, and they've done a good job. They've put pressure on Taranaki. They've put a lot of pressure on to force some of those turnovers, to put them in a position to get those situations. So yeah, I agree with you there, Morgan. I think I like how Taranaki push the ball. I like how they get long passes out. Raquel Sampson can get that strength behind those long passes, and Caitlin O'Connell can make those long passes, but sometimes it puts the pressure on the offense to convert into those. So I'm not necessarily sure those are the turnovers. There's been a couple of charge calls, offensive fouls, so hopefully now they can turn it around with Alex Blyde with the ball at the top. She looks inside to Tian Owen. Owen back to Mason. Mason there defended well by Tyler Mitchell. Another help defense there. They're really helping well. And Blyde, boy, has she done well to bring Taranaki back into this game. She's been my player of the game so far. Her intensity on defense and her couple of steals and layups and buckets, she's really brought it back for Taranaki to where they're now in the driving seat of this game. Yeah, she's been really good, as we see Taranaki coming out in their Amoeba 1-3-1. Oh, great drive and nice layup there over Sampson's length, and we see Taranaki length without fouling. They're doing a great job of that, and they'll live with that bucket, even though they would probably prefer Owen contain the ball in the corner. Yeah, Owen probably didn't do a very good job there defensively, and Waihi's a pretty strong driver to the hole, and she can get to the bucket, and Mason takes the long too, which is nice job there by Raquel Sampson, as Waratini just missed her assignment there on boxing out. And so the other part of the game to talk about is rebounds. Now Taranaki have 12 out of a possible 28 rebounds. They're at about over 40% rebounding O-board rate. Waikato, that'll be a key for the game for them. As Wai gets caught for a foul on Gemma Walsh, makes the floater, and then she'll go to the line. I'm pretty sure, she counts the basket. And they call the foul on Gemma Walsh, as Gemma had a hand on her hip there. And Waratini gets subbed out, unfortunately. Or fortunately for missing that offensive rebound. Quite upset with herself, but she'll be fine, as Walker Katone misses. And Bree Schuller gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in to bring Waikato a little bit closer. Cardinals in there, Morgan. It's a coach killer not boxing out on a free throw. Absolutely, and we talk about some of the keys to the game for Waikato being rebounding. That time Taranaki giving it up. Blyde. Nice. Boy, she's done well. She's been huge in this game, Blyde. I've been really super duperly impressed with her. Yeah, Alex Blyde coming up huge. And a team that's so talented, a player like Alex Blyde can be overlooked. But she is coming up huge here. She is a very talented player in her own right, and she is playing an excellent game. And that's part of a national championship team, isn't it? We see Mason not really scoring, O'Connell not really scoring, but next man up. Yeah, and Paris Mason now puts herself with 3 fouls early in the third quarter, as she's been caught for reaching over the top of Bree Schuller, who did a good job of boxing out offensively to try and get a rebound. So if Waikato keep boxing out like that, they continue doing a great job playing D without fouling. The next thing is, can they keep shooting it well? Yeah, can they get buckets? And Raquel Sampson can't come out that far. I mean, I know it may have been a soft foul, but you can't put yourself in that position where a referee can call you for a foul. Now she goes, that's fine, it's only her first foul, but you know, you've just got to contest and make sure that you're staying in front of them. As coach Hida subs her out and puts in number 15, L. Lee Williams. Is it L?
Yeah. So coach has subbed Raquel out, seemingly to talk to her.
Yeah.
Perhaps might put her straight back in. Who
Yeah.
knows? It was only her first foul.
No, exactly. I was wondering why she was getting subbed out actually, but maybe getting some coaching advice as Mitchell has the ability to knock it down, and the foul's called there on Anderson. These Waikato defenders, these guards are really putting a lot of pressure on Taranaki full court. They've got to be careful though that they're not giving up too many fouls. As Reese Anderson now, that's her third foul here in the third quarter. Pressure sometimes is negated by fouls and referees, and that's not a bad thing. You just got to play within it.
That's right, and Coach Corbin with a quick face palm as he sees yet another girl rack up some foul trouble. Great switch off the screen there.
Yeah, good talk, and wide open. You can't leave her open. Oh wow, she's just not really there. Either wasn't expecting as why he pushes the ball up the court and looking to get into the lane, and finds an wide open Anderson who looks inside to Bree Schuler. Schuler gets around, and Tyler Mitchell wide open for three, but she doesn't make it as well. And another foul on Bree Schuler. It's one of the things I've noticed though from a lot of these ladies in all teams actually, and when they miss a shot or they're going for the ball, ladies like to get their hands active and like to slap down on the ball.
A lot of reaching going on here, and they're all correct foul calls.
Yep.
I mean, the last few we've seen this quarter at least.
Yep.
They're putting their hands, and we see Taranaki back into their on ball. Walker Katone switches onto Mason, but Mason gets around her.
Tough shot.
For a little mid-range floater.
Tough shot, but nice touch actually. Very nice touch for her driving to the bucket. She's a very hard cover, and she did a great job there and getting in through the seams and getting her athletic body the ability to get that ball up.
So that puts Mason at 8 points and 9 rebounds for the game so far.
Well, she is a double-double machine. Oh,
she's
nice.
going for that. She's going for that sneaky triple-double as well. She's got 7 turnovers in the first half.
The unwanted triple-double as Bree Schuler takes an outside jumper and doesn't hit anything, and then that goes out of bounds, and Taranaki do change the position there.
But you know what? Paris Mason's been their MVP all tournament long, and the only number she'll care about at the end of this is as long as Taranaki's number is bigger than Waikato's, and she has a national championship. Yeah,
that is true. That is true, and I haven't been... she's done a great job. Nice dump down. Tiana Owen.
Great pass.
Great pass, and nice roll there. Waikato have generally done a good job, but that ball screen and roll was well executed, and Taranaki get a nice easy layup. I would say easy layup as JC Lee Waihi steps back for a jump shot.
Waikato switched that one very poorly.
Yeah, they did.
I believe it was JC Lee Waihi just didn't switch to underneath.
Yeah.
Allowed the Taranaki Tian Owen to get basket side.
Yes.
Which opened up the layup, and an excellent pass from Mason.
Nice pass as Bree Schuler makes a nice mid-range jump shot. Mason pulls back for a three. Oh wow. As Alex Blyde just plows through Reese Anderson, as Reese Anderson tries the box out. As I said to you before, these Waikato girls are tough girls, and so are Taranaki as well. And Alex Blyde just plows right through the middle of Reese Anderson's chest and put her on the ground.
Well, I think as coaches, we've always said, right, hey, you need to be more physical in the box outs. You know?
Yep.
I've always said to my players, you've ever been called for a foul on a box out? No, go be more physical. And there we go, Alex Blyde, just the right amount there, and gets that foul call.
Bree Schuler goes back to her left. Oh, it's a nice shot. Spin move over the top of Sampson, and she gets it in.
So Taranaki continuing to do a good job, challenging shots with length without fouling, and that's something they want to keep doing. Another ball screen here. A great post-entry pass.
Nice pass. And she gets the rebound. Tiana, and she'll make that. She's really good around the ring, Tiana, and she was last night and again today. She gets a lot of that.
Sampson's been so effective now as the post-entry pass.
Yeah, some great post-entry passes. Probably not from the right angles that I would have liked to see, but as Bree Schuler turns the ball over here. But it's a great pass, and she's a tough cover for this Waikato team. They haven't got anyone of her size to be able to reduce some of her space, and she does a good job of holding space and putting herself in a good position.
Yeah, that's right. As we see Taranaki they'll get back into their offense. Mason with the ball, swings it to O'Connell, and we'll see Sampson.
She's too big and strong.
Get off me.
Too big and strong. And, hey, listen, great job. And Josh, and Waihi just passes the ball back to Anderson, and Anderson wasn't really ready for it, and then passes the ball up as Tyler Mitchell slices right through. As Waihi jumps.
Mason Matador defense.
Yes.
Pulls the chair.
Yeah, and Waihi gets through the lane, goes to her offhand and gets blocked there by Tiana Owen. And they need to get back on defense here because wow, that was a charge.
I think.
Yeah, they got away with one there, but Mason stays with it.
I love Mason's aggressiveness.
Yep.
She is going to the hole with force. She is trying to score.
Yep. She did get away with a charge.
Almost definitely a charge.
She did, but hey, listen, you make your own luck as Bree Schuller goes to the hole, and unfortunately just leaves it a little bit short there. Can't compound things with a foul. Taranaki are doing a great job of not letting any offensive rebounds. I really think they've really done a good job of digging up, and there's a foul being called there. Oh, what is he calling? A foul there on Waihi. That might be her fourth foul. I think it is. Yep, that's her fourth foul. Getting caught with her hands in the cookie jar, and unfortunately she's going to have to be taking a seat for her team.
It's very rough as we'll see Ahi Williams enter the game for her. You just can't afford to commit a foul like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's late in the third quarter. We just keep your hands out, play good, strong defense, stay straight up, and keep yourself in the game. Yeah, and Raquel's she's doing a great job. She's such tough cover inside with 16 points at the moment. Now, Caitlin O'Connell out to Paris Mason. And unfortunately Raquel Sampson was nutmegged. If you don't know what that is, research it. The ball goes through her legs, and it seems that that Taranaki are now starting to look for those open shots. They're up by 12. The offense is coming to them a bit easier. Waikato's shooting has dried up quite considerably. They aren't able to make a lot of those jump shots that they were making earlier, and they compound things with fouls.
16% in the first half, and I suggest it's not been much better for them so far this game. of 2 of 3 now from 3 this half. They're still within touch, 12, but they'll need some jump shots to fall for them soon, because it's hard for them to finish in the interior with all the length Taranaki can provide.
Yep.
They're not getting to the free throw line.
Yep.
As we see Taranaki looking more and more comfortable in this game.
They are, and you know, Paris Mason's such a nice player, and Raquel Sampson's doing a great job inside. She's doing an amazing job inside and gets it and one. She's so strong, and you know, there's a lack of boxing out. Yes, it's tough, but everyone needs to battle down. Everyone needs to rebound, and she's just owning the Waikato team at the moment, putting her up.
She sure is.
I think she's up to 18 points now.
18 points, 11 rebounds for Raquel Sampson.
18 points, 11 rebounds for Sampson, and oh my gosh, she's having a wow of a game, doing a great job. Especially, she's had to carry some of the scoring load because Caitlin O'Connell and to a point Paris Mason haven't really been producing.
And this is excellent for Raquel Sampson as a player, the Sacred Heart New Plymouth Centre. She's a player that was in the New Zealand wider group last year as under-16s, made the select group in the end, whereas Caitlin O'Connell, Paris Mason made the New Zealand team. And she was really starting to say, no, I'm every bit as good as my teammates. I'm one of the most highly heralded players here. It's really excellent for her. As we see the Taranaki bench look a little more relaxed now.
Yeah, and I mean, they're up now by 14, and 14 in the women's game is quite a big lead. It's not that easy to come back from, especially if you don't have very strong three-point shooters in the competition. So they're in the driving seat at the moment, and Waihi, one of the top performers for Waikato, is in foul trouble. She's unable to play probably for the majority of the rest of this quarter and maybe the start of the fourth. So Waikato have done a good job of really trying to limit some of the options, but I would say that Taranaki just doing an awesome job at offensive execution and getting the opportunities when they can.
That's right.
As Raquel goes now to I think this was an and one. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was and one. She made the basket. It's a single free throw that she'll have now, and
a rebound there by Bree Schuller.
The ball.
Rebound there by Bree Schuller as Reese Anderson brings the ball up,
who did a lot of scoring in the first quarter but haven't seen much out of Reese Anderson since then. As Quay Walker, Katune, and up to Bree Schuller. Bree's looking to drive and kick, really just passing around. There's not a lot of movement here by Waikato, and Ahi Williams gets a up fake, and Raquel Sampson says, no, not at my house. Sends it out and out. Sends it out and then transitions back into offense, and she's down there ready for the ball. Tiana on.
Great movie.
Yeah. Great movie. Yeah.
And they look for Raquel Sampson again, a poor pass from Gemma Walsh. And,
talking about post-entry passes there, Morgan. Probably should have gone to a better angle there instead of trying to do it baseline to baseline. So Tyler Mitchell gets the ball, reverses it to Reese Anderson. She's shot well for first half, hasn't been able to knock anything down here in the second half. And a turnover there for Waikato, as although Ahi Williams was putting in some energy to get the rebound, she come off her foot, and Alex Blythe subs in for Caitlin O'Connell, who hasn't had the best of games today, but she's had a lot of help from Raquel, and also Alex Blythe, who comes back in, who's done a good job of turning. She was, I think, the catalyst that turned this game around for Taranaki.
That's right. So far, Caitlin O'Connell hasn't scored of 8 for the game, but she has 4 assists. And she's shown great leadership. She is still shooting the ball when she is open. She is not letting that affect her confidence, and she is still talking from the bench. She is still organising. It's a credit to how good of a person she is and how good of a leader she is.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of professionalism to do that, and as a player, you need to really focus on, if your performance isn't going well, that you're a part of a team and making sure everyone else around you is getting the best out of what they can do. And Alex Blythe now gets the ball after a missed shot. Bree Schuller stays in front of her, and Alex Blythe is looking to find a way and open that envelope, and she pops it out to Mason. Mason wide open for 3, missing it there, and Ahi Williams and Bree Schuller tag team up on Raquel, and Raquel doesn't get a rebound. Gemma Walsh and Gemma Walsh
yet to hit a 3 this game.
They still take them though, but you know, their strength is in there as they come out Tiana on. I think that's great defense.
Well, they have shot the 3 this tournament. Caitlin O'Connell's a good 3-point shooter. Gemma Walsh this game and last game not so well, but she is a good 3-point shooter. Paris Mason, good 3-point shooter. So they do have capability to shoot the ball. Just this game, they haven't hit it. I do like they are doing a really good job ensuring that they keep taking open shots.
Yeah, but you're only as good as your last game, and when you're in the final, you've got to stand up. And I hear what you're saying, Morgan, but I think big players need to make big plays when they're coming down to the stretch. And I think Raquel Sampson, from my end, if Taranaki didn't have her in this game, they'd probably be struggling right now. And I hear what you're saying. I do agree they are good players, and I'm a big believer. And when the finals come, you need to stand up and play. And unfortunately, at this moment in time, they haven't. And they've got a great team, had the ability to carry everyone else and come back into this game and get a good, strong lead. As Gemma Walsh forces up a tough shot there, but they've got a lot of good, and there's a lot of confidence in the Taranaki team. They really want to be able to, everyone wants to shoot, everyone wants the ball, everyone wants to do it, which is a good sign for a team.
Yeah, that's right, as we see a post-entry pass, kick out, Schuller open for 3, turns it down for a Walker, Ekatoni 3.
And she makes it. That's her first 3 of the game, I think it is. I don't think she shot, yeah, that is her, oh no, that's her 4th attempt, and she makes it on her 4th one. So
Waikato now 3 of 16 for the game, shooting 3s, and
Gemma Walsh
can't quite finish over
Shorter, and Walker Ekatoni put some good defense there. It's a 10-point lead now late in the 3rd quarter. Opportunity now to try and cut it underneath the double-digit lead here for Waikato. Great defense here from Taranaki. I think they're doing a good job on Waikato, forcing them into tough shots as Bree Schuller pulls up for 3, and she makes it. Her first 3-point of the game, and they cut it not only under 10, but they cut it back to 7 points after a 3-point go. And that's the end of the quarter with Taranaki 48 and Waikato 41. Some couple of late 3s there from Waikato, pulling them back into this game after being down for the majority of that quarter.
Yeah, and we've said Waikato's shooting ability is going to be so important for them coming back into this game, and they end that quarter with 2 3s, which is really important as we see Taranaki in that quarter with a lineup with no Mason on the floor, no O'Connell on the floor, no Sampson on the floor, which is a trio I think most would say are their 3 most effective players. Now Mason does have 4 fouls, Sampson does have 3 fouls, and while O'Connell hasn't scored, she still has immense talent, and her ability to control the game as a point guard, play eyes up, and handle the ball would be important, as well as her defensive ability on the floor.
So here we are, late going into the 4th quarter now, 48-41 to Taranaki. Last ditch hurrah for this gold medal match of the Under-17s AON National Championships here in Wellington. Not so windy today. They've actually put on some really nice weather over the last 3 or 4 days, and they've done a good job. And everyone's out here watching this game, prepping up not only for this final but also the boys' final between Wellington and Auckland. But this is a good game. We've had a tight tussle back and forth. The teams have extended a lead and have come back, and Taranaki hold the driver's seat at the moment and doing a good job about it. I think both coaching and player management has been really important for them as Waikato again have really, I think, Taranaki have been the favourites, yes, and they've come through the pool play and they've done a great job. Waikato are here. I think they've somewhat overachieved, in my opinion. Morgan, I think they've come to the final with a lack of depth in their team due to injuries and people being out. So I know there was a mention yesterday of the Harbour and Taranaki game being the final. Not really sure. I tend to think whoever makes the final, but obviously this pool that they were in was the top pool because they're both here today.
Yeah, that's right. I think, many people consider the semi-final, the real final, where Harbour and Taranaki went to overtime, but that does no discredit to this Waikato side who are playing excellent. We see some of the keys to the game, Waikato now shooting it a little better, 2 threes to end that quarter. Taranaki only went to the free throw line once, that was Sampson's, and won that quarter, so they're a little less aggressive. And rebounding, Waikato did a much better job rebounding that quarter. Taranaki's still got 5 O boards that quarter, but relatively, compared to the size difference, we see Shula open for 3. Unfortunately, they get in a tussle, and Blyde's energy really doing great things for Taranaki.
Yeah, she has. I mean, she's been really impressive for me, Alex Blyde. Like yesterday, she was a little bit quiet, but the Caitlin O'Connell took the show, and she did a good job in the semi-final. But Blyde's really, and this is the important key. You speak about a team, you speak about an environment, everyone in the team contributing in their own special way. And I think Alex Blyde's done a good job today of really putting pressure defensively and getting some turnovers, and also kind of just being a leader there. And again, a great move. Goes to her right hand and makes a layup.
And that's Alex Blyde's 10th points of the game, and she'll have 3 steals now.
She's done a good job, Alex Blyde. As Reese Anderson looks to get the ball up top.
Paris Mason goes to the steal, perhaps lucky not to pick up her 5th foul there as she runs over Tyler Mitchell. But she went through the ball to get the body. Tough pass, great pressure from Mason, and another turnover from Waikato.
But hey, listen, when you're aggressive, good things happen, and she was aggressive there. She tried to get out, she tried to get the ball, and they eventually comes to a turnover.
As we see Taranaki come up the floor now, they're up 9. Critical stretch of the game for them. O'Connell totally in control, reverses the ball through Owen, leading to a Blyde Owen ball screen. Great pressure from Mitchell. Sampson not quite comfortable dribbling out there. They're out of their offense. But Owen post up. O'Connell long 2.
She makes it. Oh, I thought that was going on. It looked good from my end. Raquel Sampson probably needs to get down low, and not saying she can't be out on the perimeter, but I'd like to see her down low getting those touches. She's on, what is she on? 19 points, 18 points. So I'd like to see her get up to that 20 markers there. Makes a bucket.
Waihi. And she's in the game on 4. Mason's in the game on 4. O'Connell.
There's those turnovers, though, we spoke about earlier.
She throws an interception, not a pick 6, though.
No, there's those turnovers earlier, Morgan, which are can really hurt a team, especially and she gets subbed out probably for a bit of a talking to about what she actually wants to see from a coach here. So Walker Ikatone gets the ball. Ikatone gets the ball at the top of the key as they look for a high on-ball action with Waihi at the top. They reverse it across. I think you're right there. They need to look at these shooters and trying to going around. It's a tough gig trying to go around Raquel Sampson. She's a good defender. She actually moves quite well laterally and has the ability to stay with her player as best she can. As we see another quick sub back in.
Was wide open for 3 there, turns it down. So O'Connell's going to try re-enter the game now. This is multiple times now that the Taranaki coach has subbed a player out to talk to them for 30 seconds and then sub them straight back in. So it's interesting.
Interesting. So here we go. Waihi switches on that screen after Alex Blytiano on a mismatch there down low. Good defense there by Anderson. Help across.
Mason sneaking behind the defense.
Reverse layup, and it goes. Long arms.
Alex Blythe again with a nice pass. She's really been, I think, the guard of the game today, Alex Blythe. She's done a good job defensively, got steals, got buckets, and made an assist there as Waihi looks to penetrate.
Mitchell wide open for three again.
Dribbles off and Mitchell passing the ball, looking across.
Waihi open for three.
Yeah.
Waihi this time.
And she makes it. She can shoot it. Maybe a couple of passes earlier, but otherwise it's a good job. And
Coach Shea hit her with a timeout.
Did she? Oh, yeah. Coach Shea with the timeout there. As Waikato able to cut this lead down to 6 points, which Taranaki have kept it at that point. Again, I think the benefits of having Raquel Sampson inside, she's so strong, but those long arms of Paris Mason, I tell you, was a nice reverse shot from underneath the basket, and very rarely do you see that at this age group for a young woman, but she did a good job of getting that in.
Yeah, no, she's a very talented player, and she's able to make very tough shots like that. Taranaki only had 1 turnover in the third quarter, and they've had 1 this quarter as well, and they've been doing a great job with that. But Waikato shooting is a reason they've come back into it. It's by no means exceptional. Shooting, the percentages are still not fantastic. They're shooting 5 of 18 from 3, 27%. But it is better than Taranaki's 3-point shooting percentage at 0.
Yeah, it is. And to be fair with you, I mean, you got to make you got to pick your poison. You got to make your buckets when they come. And in a low-scoring game like today, any three is going to be a massive turnaround. And it is a weapon, the 3-point shot, probably overused in some instances, with some cases in this generation of basketball. But if you can make it, if you can put it in, it's going to be tough, and you're going to keep yourself in the game. Especially against the tough interior defense of Taranaki. Their defense interior is really tough. They're so big, they're so long, they have the ability to rebound, and they're athletic, so it's tough to try and get into those seams.
That's right, and we've seen Waikato go to the free throw line 9 times this game, converting 5 of those opportunities. Unfortunately, Waikato 2 of 5 from the free throw line.
Yeah. It's one of the things Natalie and I discussed last night when we were commentating the lack of free throw percentage, or the poor free throw percentage, I should say. It's really disappointing from a coach's perspective, as Paris Mason gets inside, and nice defense
for it.
Nice defense there. Tough. It was a tough shot. She threw it up late in the shot clock with Bree Schuler right on top of her, and she makes it. She's done a good job here of continuing to score.
So we see Taranaki again in their 1-3-1 amoeba. Nobody was on Mitchell, and yet she was still hesitant. It's really causing Waikato some trouble if they don't take the open threes that defense provides them.
I agree, and if they're going to give them that space, then they need to take it. Waihi took a shot there, was wide open, unfortunately didn't make the bucket, and then they called a foul.
Fantastic drive. Did have Mason wide open for 3 at the top, but gets the foul call, and she'll go to the free throw line now. Alex Blythe's just been fantastic, and she has really earned her playing time.
She has, and like I said to you, I think she's been the player of, may not have scored the most, but she's the one who's really turned this game on its head. She came with some energy, got some steals, and really has put her performance on the back of a pretty quiet one last night.
Agreed. I mean, Raquel Sampson and Paris Mason and Alex Blythe together have done a great job propelling them in the absence of big scoring games from their usual scorers, Gemma Walsh and Caitlin O'Connell.
Yeah, and a nice drive there by Waihi. She gets around Tiana Owen. Bree Schuler passes out to Reese Anderson, and Anderson goes in and out, and a foul being called there on Tyler Mitchell and Raquel Sampson, as Raquel gets the rebound, and they call on Bree Schuler. Bree Schuler, as we've got 5 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter of this gold medal match between Waikato and Taranaki. Taranaki up by 10 points here with 5 minutes 47 seconds to go.
And that's Bree Schuler's 4th foul as well. So Jazeli Waihi, Bree Schuler 4 fouls, and Paris Mason 4 fouls as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really tough on this Waikato team. They're really undermanned, under strength as far as, and a nice shot there. Ooh, tough box.
Mason, she was hit. No foul call, but she makes the basket, and she is really saying, all right, thank you so much, Alex. Great job. Thank you, Raquel. Myself, Gemma, Caitlin weren't doing much earlier in the game, but now I'm going to make sure we win this national championship.
And Waihi pulls up for 3, and she misses, goes a bit long. Unfortunately, just wasn't there. And
And I think overall Waikato have done a great job to be in this position under man and wide open. Alex Blind, and she makes a layup.
I just want to talk about, as we see Coach Corbin call a timeout, I want to talk about Caitlin O'Connell just there. So Caitlin O'Connell, New Zealand under-16 captain last year, very highly heralded player, excellent player. 0 of 9 this game, 0 points. Right there, she has a layup for herself if she wants it. She can get it. She's talented enough to. Makes the unselfish play, kicks it ahead. All she cares about is winning. That's a great unselfish play.
Yeah,
she's not worried about her points total at all.
Although if she had taken that layup as a coach, I would have been mad, because we always teach our players to pass the ball ahead, and she's very aware of that. She did a good job.
Exactly. We're praising her for passing it.
Taking
the right option, not worried about her points.
Not worried about her points. And we always say to players, get the ball, give it up to get back, and they need to learn that, as far as, especially some of our young guys, our gents like to hold that ball and I wouldn't say hog it, that they like to hold that ball a little bit longer than they should.
They just want to get that jelly fan for the Instagram. That's what they're all about these days.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, I just think Caitlin did a great job. She's doing a great job leading this team, and it's not about any individual numbers right now. It's about getting that chip.
And as much as I agree with you, as much as we talk about Caitlin O'Connell, I think overall Taranaki as a team really have come together, and they're really performing well. I think Paris Mason is such a difficult cover. She's so long, she's so athletic. She has the ability to shoot now. She wasn't shooting well in the first quarter. She's shooting well now in the fourth. Raquel Sampson's such a strong. She played WBC, had a good performance for the WBC, and now is bringing that into the under-17s. And they've got some good role players like Alex Blyde and Tiana Owen who just do their job and do their role, and allow some of their more well-known players within their system to get what they need to. As the Waikato team here start off with the ball with Koe Wokeke-Tone, very much undersized, undermanned, but here in the final, they come from good stock. The Waikato women's program has always been very good over the years, with a lot of championships, more than most other organisations around the country, with Coach Corbin doing a lot of good jobs with some coaching. So
great box out from O'Connell.
And they're doing really, really well here, pushing the ball up. As we look to Raquel Sampson, gets the ball up, Tyler Mitchell on her. Don't really like Raquel out there, but she does dive really well, gets to the front of the rim. Go up, big girl, and that's an unfortunate. Tiana Owen again. Tiana Owen again, O'Connell wide open. She should knock that down, and she doesn't, unfortunately. And Alex Blyde with a nice rebound, and misses that layup. I thought that was good as well.
I mean, Taranaki did a great job in that offense. Sampson reversed the ball and dove to a deep seal.
Nice drive there by Waihi.
Unfortunate they didn't make the basket, but it's still great basketball as we see Waihi.
Waihi taking a nice drive there. We need to probably see more of that attack there from Waihi, as Raquel, such a tough cover inside, doing a great job. I really like seeing it. I'm a big fan of inside-out basketball, and Alex Blyde looking inside, and Raquel's doing what she needs to do and making it a tough move inside for those girls. Good job.
Taranaki have done a great job all game long now with post-entry passes to Sampson. They've been feeding her all game. And it's something a lot of young players really struggle with.
And a three-point shot from Koe Wokeke-Tone. Again, bringing them back in. Waikato probably need to shoot more of those. They haven't. They've been open a lot more than they should.
As we see Mason turn the corner, great screen from Owen. We're praising all fundamentals here. Great screens, great box outs, great passes.
As they get a turnover here, and we're going to Wokeke-Tone probably should, probably late pass there, but it's all right. As they go up, she gets a foul. Wokeke-Tone and trying her best here with 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go. Not many fouls in this quarter, only 3 team fouls from both sides. It's just been good. It's been pretty up and down, and so there's been some good defensive play here in 7 minutes of basketball. And free throws again, we talk about them often, about there's a word in front of them which is free, and you've got to knock these shots down, and unfortunately they're just not there. She makes the second. So Waikato down 10 points, 62-52. 3 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the gold medal match between Taranaki and O'Connell. Goes to the hole, misses that layup after contested there from great defense there from Koe Wokeke-Tone. Ekatone passes to Waihi. Waihi needs to look to drive against Tiana Owen. She gets into the nice seams, and Tyler Mitchell again open, but hasn't been able to produce her offensive output from her team as she did last night.
Blyde with a great take. And an offensive charge foul called. Great job. Excellent job getting position there for number 6, Reese Anderson.
Reese does a good job defensively. She's caused 2 or 3 now charge calls. She called 1 down here
on Paris Morgan, and she called another one up here. So she's done a great job defensively and moving and getting into defensive opposition.
Well, she got her chest in front and took legal contact, and that's excellent defense. She moved her feet really well, got in position.
She's done a good job, and as Coach Shea wants to get some clarification from the referee. And I clearly think that was a charge. I don't think there's really any question around that. As Reese puts herself in a position as they reset the shot clock back to 24.
Almost definitely. And a critical juncture here for Waikato, down 10.
Yep.
2.5 minutes left, and we'll see if they can create some great shots. Taranaki more aggressive in their zone now, not giving up as many open threes, but I think the opportunity is still there as we see one there.
Drive, and Raquel, again, I don't think Raquel needs to come out to that. I like the pressure. I like the intent. Probably just putting herself under pressure as far as a foul. Connell pushes the ball to Blyde. Blyde makes a jump shot, misses. Good box out there by Waihi on the bigger Sampson as she pushes the ball up the floor. Nice numbers back for Taranaki. There's 4 of them back there. Wide open 3. Reese Anderson got to shoot that, and she shoots one dribble pull-up and makes it. Good transition defense and a good offense there from Waikato getting back into this game as Reese Anderson extends pressure there, and a foul was called. Yeah, it is a foul, hand on. I thought Blyde may have been a little bit out of control, but there definitely was a hand on by Anderson as she tries to stop the Alex Blyde from dribble penetration there. Again,
yeah, that's right, and that's Waikato's second team foul of the quarter. So they have 2 to give before they're putting Taranaki on the free throw line.
And Raquel Sampson, exactly what I would like to see. She does the job. Great post entry, as you've been talking about, Morgan. She gets the shot up and it goes in. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't do that more. It's very tough cover. Bree Schuler
Smart
pulls back.
shot from Schuler.
Yeah, very nice. And now they're starting to come back into this game with another 3, and that puts it back to 7 points now. They're down after being down 10, and Bree Schuler with a big turnover, unfortunately, from Connell. Bad pass. She gets inside, makes a dump off the play.
What a pass.
What a pass. And whether or not it's a mistake or not, she found an open player, split 2 defenders, and gets the bucket in there.
Yeah, Taranaki timeout.
Taranaki timeout. Bree Schuler's done an amazing job in the last couple of minutes or so. That steal there was her length. That she's a very long lefty. She's very long. She has the ability to get long, and making that pass, whether or not it's a mistake or not, I wasn't sure if it was. But she did a good pass and makes it. And Koi Walker Ekitone puts them back in within 5 in this 1 minute 27 seconds to go in this game, which is not a long time. But hey, anything can happen.
That's right. Anything can happen right now. It's great awareness of time and score from Schuler. She could have caught the ball where she was standing in the mid-range corner, and she stepped out to the 3 and she pulled straight away. She was aware of the importance of getting a quick, good 3-point attempt up. And while we saw Reese Anderson hit that mid-range shot, she dribbled in from a wide-open 3 to get it. And Waikato now on a little 7-0 run of their own to bring it to within 5 with 87 seconds left in this national championship game.
Yeah, and like I said, more credit to Taranaki. Taranaki are very much the more talented and definitely the stronger team. And Waikato, I think, again, have done a great job of keeping themselves relevant in this game. Even being down as much. I think they were down 13 at one point in this game, and coming back within 5, they've done a good job of pushing themselves and getting back into the game so that they can be in with a chance to win with, like you say, with 87 seconds left in this game. Let's see if they extend this pressure here for Waikato, see what they do in the defensive end.
That's right. The biggest lead of the game is at 48-34. And since then, you know, we've seen Waikato go on a 25-12 run to close the game and really give themselves the best shot possible to challenge for this game.
Yep. As we see now here,
Elevators for
Elevators
O'Connell.
Seems to be a very popular player. Yeah, that's over-aggressive defense. They have a foul to give there. Probably not a smart foul to give this early in the game, but I can see them trying to play for. I wouldn't play for a foul or send them to the line now. I'd play straight up defense.
I think there's some potential for that because they disrupted the sideline play, and you're seeing them run the exact same, or look like the exact same sideline play. And so then we both thought it was there for great execution from coach. Coach Shea, right there, two sideline plays that look the same, but they're completely different as Taranaki up 7 now.
With Raquel Sampson, as I keep saying about getting it inside, she's a tough colour for Tyler Mitchell, and she gets the ball back, rotates the ball again. He looks to go to the hole and unfortunately misses it. It should have possibly kicked it on for an open 3 in the corner.
Yeah, she should have. Walker Katona's wide open in the corner.
Caitlin O'Connell with a wide open pass. Look down to Raquel Sampson. Sometimes it's the sacrifices you make to try and get some pressure on the ball. They had a potential steal up in the front court. O'Connell was able to recover and made that long pass down when everyone bites on, and that's the sacrifices you make when you're trying to get some turnovers. You're trying to turn the ball over, getting an advantage back for your team, and unfortunately if they don't get it off, then you could put yourself under pressure in an easy layup here. So we've got 53.6 seconds to go in this gold medal match between Taranaki and Waikato at the AL National Under-17s Championships. Both Waikato now in foul on the penalty, and Taranaki have 2 fouls to give. Our top scorers for the game with Quay Walker Ekatoni, she has 19 points for Waikato, as well as the top scorer for Taranaki is Raquel Sampson with 26 points, and Alex Blyde again doing well with 12, and obviously Paris Mason with her 18 points chipping in here. Both teams obviously not shooting well, still to get to hit a 3-point shot from Taranaki, but they don't have to when you got Raquel Sampson inside making such easy buckets and being very powerful and strong.
Yeah, that's right. We see Raquel Sampson and Paris Mason. You already mentioned their points, but they've got 15 and 11 rebounds respectively, culminating in Taranaki having 20 offensive rebounds this game.
As Shula has a double-double as well. She's too. I think she's one of the achievers for Waikato. The taller girls been matching up against these taller Taranaki team, and she's got herself 10 points and 10 rebounds for Bree Shula. And Waikato gets the ball back in. They extend the call a timeout, extend the ball with the goal. The clock's gone up to 55 seconds.
They're not in man. Wahi's wide open on the 3-point line. Walker Katone's wide open.
Yep, and she pulls Walker Ekatone with Quay, misses that shot. Raquel Sampson gets a strong rebound up to O'Connell, and they extend that pressure. And Walker Ekatone, she scores with a foul to try and draw the game out. 43.7 seconds, and sends O'Connell to the. Was it O'Connell that was fouled? Sends O'Connell to the line for 2 free throws. So
perhaps showing experience there. You saw on that sideline play. They ran the play and did get Walker Ekatone the wide open shot, but Waihi was just left unguarded because Taranaki came out in their zone. They could have just thrown it straight to her for a 3, and I think Waihi is a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, and unfortunately they just, and it comes with experience and simulation, having the opportunity to find your players, and O'Connell knocks down her first points of the game with 51 seconds to go in the game, and these are clutch free throws now. It puts it out past 10 points, and that's really hard to come back from with less than a minute to go in the game, and she makes the second. Very clutch free throws as they get the ball up to Waihi up to Walker Ekatone. Ekatone is getting the ball looking, I think, that can't waste too much time off the clock, and Waihi needs to look at that shot. She needs to look at that, probably the first one, and she makes it. Makes the second shot, gets up there, puts the pressure on there defensively. She's a good shooter. She just needs to get more opportunities, and they need to double team or get some pressure on the ball. I'm not sure what they're doing now. If they're not going to foul, I would call a foul to try and. I know Caitlin's
like Coach Corbin's instructed them not to foul.
Right, and they get and there's 6 seconds left on the shot clock with a good defensive pressure. It seems as though they're just going to play it out, try and get a turnover or defensive rebound and go again.
Almost looks like 8 points, 20, about 30 seconds, not enough.
Yep, and Alex Blyde looks inside, and good defense there by Ahi Williams. Reset. Oh, that's a dumb foul. That's really not a smart foul, but they did have a foul to give, so maybe it was a smart foul for Alex Blyde. So they don't go to the line, so it stops a potential. Actually, I'll retract that. That's a smart foul. They potential not to go to a transition basket. They have to set something up with 10.2 seconds to go, and now they're only down by 8 points. I must. This has been a strong performance by Taranaki. They've done it. They definitely deserve to be the top team today, and with the gold medal, Waikato have really done a good job of keeping this game competitive, as we spoke about earlier in pool play. They got beaten by over 30 points, and then today they've managed to keep it really extremely competitive. Waihi's wide open for 3, and unfortunately long, but they've done a good job. But congratulations, Taranaki gold medalists here at the AL National Under-17 Basketball Championships. They've done a really good job. Great team, great opportunity, some good coaching, some good athletes in their team, but I'll definitely shout out to them and congratulations to them on getting a gold medal today.
This is what you love to see, isn't it? And I just want to shout out to the Waikato side. 2 years ago they lost the final as well, and they're a great team and extremely well coached by coach Anthony Corbin. So shout out to him as well. Though the girls performed really admirably in this game and gave us a really excellent final.
Yeah, as we spoke about earlier, they got beaten by 30 points by the strong Taranaki team in their ball play. But boy, all credit to this Taranaki team. I think I've been very impressed by how they've gone about what they've done. They've done a great job. They've got some good coaching. They've got some absolutely naturally amazing talent. And when you have a player like Raquel, who's pretty unstoppable down low, it's pretty hard. We see here from our top scorers, Raquel Sampson, 26 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist, no turnovers, which I like to see, and only 1 personal foul. So she's done some great defense, meaning she stayed up and down and did a good job of keeping in the game.
She's been great. Alex Blythe's been great.
Yeah, look at that, 11-13 shooting. I mean, basically there wasn't a bad shot she took.
And Paris Mason, 18 and 11 in this game, and most people watching this game thinking, she was okay, she didn't play, but we're so used to greatness from her, and she's been the MVP all tournament for this group, and 18 and 11 in the final, and at the end of the day, like we've said, none of these numbers matter. The only numbers that matter.
70 on the board and 62. So congratulations to the Taranaki Under-17s women's team who are national champions here in Wellington for the Aon National Champions. As we'll close off now, and we'll come back to you ready for the boys' final between Auckland and Wellington.
The Tall Ferns culture is absolutely incredible. I've never experienced anything like it.
We're always underdogs, we always fight really hard. It's always an honour playing for the privilege to wear the jersey.
It's always just a tight-knit group of girls who fights on every possession. We're often undersized, but I don't think we've ever been outplayed in terms of heart and desire. So when I think of Tall Ferns, that's what I think of.
The Tall Ferns is a family. It's not just about the wins and the losses and the competition, but coming to see the up-and-coming players. I just feel so connected with them, just being from the same country. We get on so well, and it's a great connection I have with the girls.
The
grit and the fight that the Tall Ferns have, come in as the underdog and compete with these world champs and have no fear in their eyes, and they just take on anyone that comes in their path. It's something that I was really excited to be a part of.
I joined the Tall Ferns in 2008, before the Olympics, and that to date might be the best experience of my life. It also opened up a whole international basketball experience for me. I'd never thought of playing professionally after college, and we got to go up against the best teams in the world, Team USA, China, Spain, the Czech Republic. Yeah, the Tall Ferns really just showed me that there's basketball out there besides what's in America and what I was used to.
I think if I was to give any advice to young aspiring basketball athletes, especially female, it would be to work really hard, and if it's something that you love, then go for it. The world is your oyster, and especially in terms of basketball, you can do so many things with it. You can go so many places, and going to college, playing professionally overseas. It's definitely a career option for women now, and that's amazing. Follow your dreams, definitely, but you need to work really hard at it, and if you're really passionate about it and you really care and you really love it, then you'll be amazed at what you can achieve.